Randy Osetta, and in my role as a mentor in residence at the McGuire Center for Entrepreneurship, I'm honored to welcome you to our 2020 New Venture Competition. As with many things recently, this is the first time that we've done the McGuire Center New Venture Competition in a virtual environment. So welcome to our Zoom room, welcome to our YouTube platform. We're excited about doing this in a virtual setting. As a short pause, we at McGuire hope that all of our visitors and their friends and families are safe and well during this very difficult time. Indeed, for the past month, we've been working with our students using this Zoom platform. We have not seen them in class since right around spring break. So it's a great opportunity for us to have them pitch their final venture ideas. As I said, we've never done this before. So thank you for being willing to share this new experience with us. We'll do our best that we can to manage all these new technological challenges as we move through this afternoon. Now, before we move to the competition, I'd like to introduce you to our next speakers. The first is Dr. Paulo Goes, Dean of the Eller College, and following Dr. Stan Reynolds, the Vice Dean of the Eller College, and our Acting Director for the McGuire Center for Entrepreneurship. Dr. Goes.
Thank you, Randy. Thanks, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here welcoming you to the 2020 version of our new venture competition, our final pitch. Very excited to be here. I usually do this every year in different formats, but this specifically has been very gratifying because, as you all know, we went through this critical period to deal with the healthcare issue. And the entire team pulled together. We have a great competition ahead of us. Nothing surprising when you talk about the McGuire Center. It's been an innovative center since 1984 when it was founded by Carl Eller. And over the years, it has established itself as one of the premier entrepreneurship centers in the world. We are currently a top 10 center. And the highlight of it all is the final competition. I'm looking forward to hearing the pitches, to hearing the students. I welcome the dean, the judges back, and I'm just going to sit here, relax, and enjoy a great show. Again, very proud of everybody, very proud of the McGuire team this year, John Sharp and Greg Watson and the team. I really appreciate everything that you've done. But this is all about the students. So students go there and do a wonderful job. So I'll take the moment now to introduce Dr. Stan Reynolds. He's Vice Dean of the college and also Acting McGuire Director. Stan?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paulo. Let me add my welcome to that of the Dean. So this is a really exciting day. It represents the culmination of a full year of hard work for the student teams. And like all of you, I'm really looking forward to seeing the presentations and pitches in the competition here today. I've had the opportunity to work really closely with the McGuire Center mentors and staff this spring, and have been able to see their work firsthand. And I can't tell you how proud I am of what they've been accomplishing this spring and how well they've worked with the student teams. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of new things going on in the center, and the McGuire team continues to refine and improve the new venture program. I think there are a lot more opportunities now for students to learn about how to develop prototypes and how to integrate technology into their business ideas than we've been able to have before. So I'm really happy about that. You know, obviously the COVID-19 crisis has caused some disruptions for the McGuire Center and the new venture program, just as it has all across our campus. But you know, just as you would expect, the entrepreneurial spirit of the center with the students and the mentors has just enabled them to view this as a set of new challenges with new opportunities. And I think they've embraced those opportunities. You'll get to see just how the students have responded to that today. So with that, I'll step aside so we can get on with the program. I'll turn the mic over to Randy Osetta now.
Thank you, Stan. For those of you watching, you should know our dean's office has been super supportive of the McGuire Center for Entrepreneurship. This year we have two co-chairs helping run the program. The first, Greg Watson, and then second, John Sharp. So John, I'm going to turn it over to you. John?
Hey, thanks, Randy. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Paulo and Stan, for all the kind words. Before I talk about our program, I really need to thank all of the people who make this program possible. McGuire Center is one of the oldest and most prestigious entrepreneurship centers in the country. And I think we need to give our thanks to Carl and Stevie Eller. Without the efforts of those two, the McGuire Center wouldn't exist. And to Chris and Carol McGuire, after whom the center is named, and their continued support, and thanks to Chris for participating as a judge this year. Also, thanks to the Berger Foundation, and thank you to the Muzzy family for your contributions and help year in and year out. I also need to mention some national and local partners. Microsoft, who sponsors one of the awards that we have, not for today, but we have some more awards for our teams in a couple of weeks. Also, Startup Tucson. We have the CEO of Startup Tucson here today, who's acting as a judge. We have Tech Launch Arizona, which is part of the U of A that helps us and helps our teams with ideas. The Desert Angels and Arizona Forge, our incubator. I also want to give a shout out to the alumni advisors who worked with our teams this year. And I'll talk a little bit more about our teams in a minute, but our alumni advisors were really helpful and provided a great lift to our mentor team in advising our NVD teams with help on developing their ideas and developing their businesses. So a little bit about our program. The new venture program is idea to launch ready in 2 semesters. So we start in August and we don't finish until the end of April. And the whole program really stresses this idea of coming up with an original idea that's innovative. And we really work with teams to develop their ideas and get them to validate that they have a market fit, that they have a product that people want to buy. Now, we also have teams that will pursue nonprofit, and that validation doesn't look all that different, whether they're buying or we're trying to get people to contribute and sponsor or donate. It all fits within the confines of our program. I think one of the really great things about this program is our emphasis on developing real products. And TechCore, who is one of the organizations within the U of A, works very closely with McGuire. Literally, we have Ash Black, I'll talk about Ash in a little bit, and his team that work with our teams week in and week out to develop their prototypes, develop their products. And then we also have a strong emphasis on corporate social responsibility. That includes diversity and inclusivity and looking at their companies and saying, is there a way that we can make the world a better place? So we're asking these students to solve really big problems. We're asking them to think big about their ideas and their future as entrepreneurs. And whether they choose to launch a business or choose to work for a startup or however they go about their lives, we constantly hear from our alumni from this program how going through this program influenced them. So I'll turn it back to Randy to talk about our judges.
Before we dig into the actual competition itself, I'll walk through the judges. When we used to do this in person, they would stand up, we would introduce them, and everyone would clap for them. So we'll have to clap on our own at home. But our first judge to introduce, you can see up here, is Christopher McGuire. Chris is the president and chairman of the board of the H.N. and Francis C. Berger Foundation. More than that, he's the namesake for the McGuire Center for Entrepreneurship. Mr. McGuire is a U of A alum, his wife Carol. They and the California-based Burger Foundation have provided significant support, both financially and personally, to the center. We've said it already today, we'll say it again. We're grateful to Chris and Carol McGuire. Our next judge on the list is Matt Williams. Matt is a McGuire Center alum. He spoke to our students a couple of months ago and talked about his career, but very quickly, he's a longtime judge for the New Venture competition. He's currently the founder and CEO of Pro.com, a home services marketplace where customers get instant price estimates for home projects. So we're delighted to have Matt back again. He's a longtime judge.
Thanks, Randy.
Yes, sir. John Jackson is our next judge. John, do you want to say hello? We put you on mute, so we probably can't hear from you.
There you
John
go.
Jackson, there you are.
Hello,
John
everybody.
is a friend of mine. He's a 2013 McGuire Center alum and a longtime friend of the center. John's venture when he was a McGuire student, Grafted Growers, has turned into SIGS, a sustainable indoor growing system. He's the CEO of that venture. This is his first year judging for us. John, we're glad to have you aboard. Another judge is Liz Pocock. Liz, are you there?
Yeah, hey Randy.
Say hello. Liz is the CEO of Startup Tucson, one of the leaders of our entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Tucson. She's just a great person to have on board. She's actually been teaching in the McGuire program this year, and this is her first year judging. Liz, thanks for being part of the program.
Thanks, Randy.
Our final judge to introduce is Ton Albright. Ton is coming to us from Vanderbilt University, where he teaches entrepreneurship. This summer, he'll be coming over to McGuire, moving back to Tucson, and joining the McGuire mentor team. He has been on the McGuire advisory board for a number of years, but this is his first year judging. Ton, are you there?
I'm here. Glad to be here.
Excellent.
I'm also a 1990 alum of the program.
So Matt is an alum, Ton is an alum, John Jackson is an alum. Liz, we got to get you to go back to school.
My husband's an alum and I'm an alum of the law school, so I feel like that counts.
I think it does. Your husband was one of my favorite students here, so good job. I've been here for a long time. I feel like I started back when Ton went to school here. All right, so those are our judges. What's going to happen today is we're going to show, well, the slide up here says judges will see each team 30-second commercial followed by a video of their 5-minute new venture pitch. Then the judges will conduct a 5-minute Q&A with each team live during our Zoom room conversation. So just as a quick reminder, we had 16 teams. We did a preliminary competition. We were supposed to select 5 teams, but that competition was so fierce, the judging committee selected 6 teams. So what we're going to do now is call the first team in. Cultura is our first team. My colleague, Mike Miles, will be handling the Zoom space. John Sharp will run the slideshow, and he's going to show their 30-second customer-facing commercial. We're grateful to Victoria and Ash and our tech core for setting all this up. And then we'll go team by team by team. So what do you think? Are you guys all ready to go for this?
Yeah, so Randy, let's just review the schedule real quick. We're going to start with Cultura, followed by Pulse Fitness, followed by Play, Hush, Aura, Century, and we think that will be done around 3:25. The judges will have about 20 minutes to deliberate, and then we're going to come back at 3:45, and we've asked the teams to come back into the Zoom room at 3:45 so that our audience on YouTube can actually see the announcements of the awards live and see the reaction from the teams.
And what is so good about our script and our planning is that we're a couple of minutes ahead of time right now. So we're still waiting for Cultura to hop online. Everyone's expecting this schedule. So
yeah, so we actually went a lot quicker than we thought.
Yeah, we did. So let's do this. If we have a couple of seconds, Any of the judges, would you like to reintroduce yourself, say a couple of words about what you've been doing in the entrepreneurial space?
Sure, Randy, I'll go. I'll start.
Good.
We got to kill 10 minutes, so here we go. So my name is Liz Pocock. I'm the CEO of Startup Tucson. Startup Tucson is a nonprofit here in Tucson, Arizona that serves early stage entrepreneurs. So a lot of what McGuire teaches, we teach to individuals and founders in the community. We teach founders how to validate an idea, go out and do customer interviews, lean experimentation, and really get their business up and off the ground. We run idea funding as part of 10 West. We've moved that to spring of 2021, but usually that occurs every fall. So all NVD teams got to participate in that this last year. So we were super excited to have them there and see what the community pitch competition looks like. Those teams pitched for $25,000 awarded by UA Venture Capital. So that was really great. And we're super excited to be a partner of NVD and McGuire year round, seeing what the students come up with, seeing them at the innovation fair, seeing their commercials this year and how fast they pivot is just amazing. So big congratulations to all the teams that competed this year. Like, you guys did an amazing job. I know how much goes into this. You guys put your hearts and souls, and it's really amazing to see your ventures.
Thank you, Liz. Startup Tucson's awesome. I remember doing one of your breakfast talks and then going to 10 West. Really glad to have you as one of the leaders of our Tucson community. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
We, again, we're waiting for student teams. We planned it out. We have a script minute by minute, but we're a little bit ahead. So Matt, Chris, John, would either of you, Ton, feel free to jump in and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
This is Matt. I'm happy to go next if you'd like, Randy.
Excellent.
All right, so Matt Williams, I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Pro.com. I've been at it for 6 going on 7 years now with this company, founded in 2013 time period, and have raised about $60 million to date. Built one of the fastest growing technology-driven residential general contracting businesses in the country. Before that, I was entrepreneur in residence at Andreessen Horowitz for a year, and the CEO of dig.com prior to that. And then I was at Amazon for about 12 years. I sold my first company, which was called LiveBid, to Amazon back in the 1998 era, so quite some time ago, and stayed at Amazon for about 12 years. So there's my, and I was in the program back in, I guess I was class of 1993. It's was one of the most formative times of my life to participate in the entrepreneurship program at the Eller College and University of Arizona. So I have come back every year because I loved the experience and I love helping students and entrepreneurs to achieve their dreams.
And Matt, I have watched you, been part of you judging for the last, feels like a decade. Maybe 11 years, 12 years that you've been part of this. So thank you so much for being part of it.
Absolutely.
Our team Cultura is rounding into form right now. So John Jackson, Ton, we have a couple of moments. If you guys would like to say something, you're welcome to. Don't want to put you on the spot, force you to.
I'll jump in. Yeah, so this is Ton. Look, my background really has started off really doing a lot of corporate venture work. So I worked doing corporate M&A, corporate investments, companies like Coca-Cola, Cox Communications, IAC, and more recently with Leaf Group. But I have been my own entrepreneur. So I did start a company out here out of Nashville called Rock House. We were in the digital marketing space for live entertainment. And we actually built that company up. We sold it to a company called eTix. It's based out of Raleigh. I've been in and out really over the past, I would say 7 to 8 years between teaching at Vanderbilt and then also going back to the private sector, working with some companies in turnarounds. But my background really over the past 15 years has been mainly around consumer internet.
That's excellent. We're excited about having you come back to Tucson. Move from Nashville to the Sonoran Desert.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona, so I'm coming home. So it feels great.
That'll be excellent. Speaking of being home, John Jackson, every time I see you, we're on an airplane going someplace. You're on mute. Michael, can you unmute John?
There we go. Got it. No, it's actually good to sit still for a little bit. You know, I'm usually always on the move, but it's great to hear all these McGuire alums and Matt. You know, that's excellent, man. I'm not that successful quite yet, but I am putting that work in every single day to make that vision a reality. But I did my program at the U of A. I actually worked through TechLaunch Arizona, doing some early stage evaluations of University of Arizona intellectual property. I converted that over. I worked with Dr. Marvin Slepian over at ACABI, which is the Arizona Center for Accelerated Biomedical Innovation, where we take a lot of early stage university-based technology and pretty much run it through what we would do in the new venture development program and find opportunities for startups and spin those technologies out of the university for different applications. So I am all over the place. I did have an opportunity to teach there at McGuire for some time as well, and that's definitely a highlight of the last few years. So happy to be able to judge this year.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. Chris McGuire, we're going to roll into our next team, and then we'll come back to you and get you to say a few words sometime down the road. Is that all right with you, Chris? Excellent. All right, so our first team, John and Michael, are we ready for Cultura?
We are ready from my side.
John, I think you're going to flip the switch for the commercial.
Travel helps you escape from your comfort zone and discover new experiences you never thought possible. Hi, we're Cultura, an online platform that combines travel planning and content creation to share experiences and inspire a global community to connect through adventure. Discover the best experiences from other users just like you. Simply build your own unique itinerary right on our app, take it with you while you're on the go, and share it with your friends. Our goal is simple: travel like a tourist and feel like a local. Download our app and follow us on social media at Cultura Abroad.
Hello everyone, we are Cultura and welcome to our final business pitch. Let's begin by introducing you to our friend Zoe. She attends the University of Arizona and is one of 360,000 study abroad students in the US. While she travels, she relies heavily on social media and websites to gain inspiration, but she often finds herself lost in hundreds of sites, researching for hours with very little guidance. Not only that, the recommendations she trusts the most come from friends, but finding this information is difficult. Zoe is our ideal target customer, and she is not alone when facing these problems. In fact, our validation research of 20 one-on-one interviews, 2 focus groups, and over 100 surveys showed 3 common themes. Individuals who plan trips spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours researching on a minimum of 10 to 15 sites, and they value personal recommendations more than online sources. These people are looking for more effective ways to plan their trips.
And that brings us to our vision. We want to take the old method of pinning pictures to a map and digitalize it onto our platform to allow users to keep track of their experiences and share it with others. Our saying is travel like a tourist, feel like a local. That's exactly what we want. We want you to have the experience of being in a new place, discovering what it has to offer, but also able to access all the information from others in the community who have found those hidden gems and want to share it with the world. But how does this work? Well, when the app first loads up, it takes you to an explore page where you can scroll through images all created by people just like you, all crowdsourced based. Or you can pop over to your friends and see what they're doing. But the feature we're most excited about is our map feature. So let's say you want to go to London. So you type in London and it flies you directly over there. And it shows you a map populated with pins, each pin having posts associated with that location. You see a post you like, you click on it, and you hit that little plus button. You hit London, and boom, it's added to your itinerary. It's that easy. No longer will you have to go to 7 to 8 different platforms to plan your trip. You only need one, and that's Cultura.
To expand our vision, we'll begin with the U of A study abroad programs. Then we'll move regionally to programs in the southwestern US. We will then move nationally and then finally reach the 1.4 billion tourist market.
To grow our visitors, we'll incorporate influencer and digital marketing to garner attention of travelers within our target market. We will attend study abroad events such as their onboarding sessions to push students to use the platform. We spoke to the Eller U of A study abroad director, and she has agreed to allow us to come and pitch to their students. Finally, we'll recruit ambassadors who have a large influence in the universities they attend to further attract users in our target demographic.
When it comes to launching a new app, word of mouth plays a huge factor in its viability. In fact, we learned that 50% of people discover new apps through their friends, family, and colleagues, and we would achieve this process in 3 ways. First, we would incorporate social sharing into our application. Secondly, we would build strong rapport with our users through user-generated content on other social media pages. And finally, we would include incentives for adding friends.
We want to utilize 2 different revenue models within our venture. The first is our ad-based revenue model. This model will allow other companies to advertise to our users based on their recent searches and interests. By using Google's free platform AdMob, we will be able to link up with the advertisers. Additionally, we plan on utilizing a freemium-based revenue model where we will create a platform specifically for study abroad programs. Finally, we have looked into an affiliate revenue model, which could also add to our yearly revenues. Our financial goals start with establishing initial partnerships with study abroad programs, which will begin taking place in August. Our official launch is planned to be in November 2020. Additionally, based on our financial model, we expect to break even by March 2023 and eventually obtain profits of $17.5 million by the end of the 5 years. We plan on funding the creation of the application and marketing through SBA loans, angel investors, and our own money in the first year. By the beginning of the second year, our plan is to obtain additional funds from an angel totaling $150,000 to help with our operating expenses. By the final month of the 5-year projection, we are estimating 210 million visitors based on our continued marketing projects and word of mouth. Ultimately, we see this venture generating revenues just shy of 20 million, with operating costs totaling 2.8 million and profits of about 17.1 million by the end of the 5 years.
Although making money is important to us, being socially responsible is a key value for our company. We'll be incorporating a text-to-speech for visually impaired users and adding filters to help users navigate which areas are ADA accessible. We'll be implementing diversity in our hiring process to ensure we not only have a diverse group of staff, but we understand that travel and the importance of community imply having broad views and opinions. Finally, we'll be donating 1% of our yearly profits to a cause of our choice. This could include funding a trip for a less privileged child or college student, natural disasters, or supporting a community event. Thank you, and we will now open the floor for any questions.
Wow, that was our first video pitch. Liz, we're going to open the floor for Q&A with the judges. So judges, feel free to unmute yourself. Liz, I think you're managing our Q&A.
Yes, and we decided John's going to go first on this one.
Yes, so my question is going to direct towards your market opportunity. I think I understand the problem. I know there's a lot of solutions out there in regards of this. Can you explain to me more so the value proposition, what really separates this app from the many other travel apps and some of the main companies that are in that space, such as your Expedias, your TripAdvisors and things like that? Those are the go-tos, right? So you have a lot of curated experience there already, as you know, people are posting and commenting about places that they've already been and visited. What's that UVP for you guys that stands out?
That's a great question. I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Again, that's a great question. And I want to point towards this side in particular. So the thing that separates us from websites like Expedia is that we're not a travel booking service. We're more along the lines of helping people plan their trips. And from our validation, we found that people use 7 to 8, sometimes 10 to 15 different websites to plan their trips. They'll go on websites like Instagram for inspiration, Google for research, Airbnb experiences for recommendations, go to Word for creating itineraries, and hop over to Maps for finding locations and addresses. We want to streamline this process directly onto our app and combine all these different features on our app, and make sure that the process of planning a new trip is simple and easy for everyone.
Is it important? I still would have to go and book my trip somewhere else.
Yes, we are not a travel booking service.
I'll tell you. It just
All
was.
right, thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
That's it for me, Liz.
Judges have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I'd just like to dig into that a little bit further. This is Matt. So just in terms of what makes this a must-have and what's driving virality, I certainly understand social sharing, the social sharing nature of it, but is there anything in the mapping technology, anything about the technology, I guess, that's differentiated that just no other app out there has?
Mm-hmm. So going back to our validation, we did find that a lot of these different apps do have the features that we're incorporating. However, it's the travel information when you're booking or when you're planning your trip is scattered. And this is a huge problem for individuals. Again, they spend 2 to 4 hours planning trips and on 10 to 15 sites. And from our validation and from our interviews, we found that people don't enjoy their research and travel research specifically because of these reasons. And in addition, we want to make the experience very authentic. So we're incorporating crowdsource-based data to make sure that individuals feel like the information is authentic and true. We found that people trust their friends and family more often than companies, and they'll also trust strangers above companies in terms of advice for travel.
Thanks, Tommy. I have a few questions unless Tom or Chris.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just in using the site as you've designed it, is there any copyright infringement problems with showing pictures or recommending sites that you would think you could encounter?
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Are you saying that the posts made by individuals on our app, will there be any copyright infringement, or are you talking about our prototype?
No, you recommend, for example, you show a picture of the Tower of London, do this, do that. Are any of these copyrighted pictures that then would cause a problem if you use them? And if so, is that a problem?
Mm-hmm. Great question. And I just want to point out that the pictures shown in our application right now, our prototype, is just pictures that we found on a website called Unsplash, which allows us to use those pictures freely. But in our actual version of our application, it will be all crowdsource-based data. So information from people who've taken pictures and uploaded it directly to our website. It wouldn't be us saying, oh, you should go to London. It would be people posting about their experiences in London and with pictures that they've taken themselves, similar to how Instagram is with crowdsource-based data. So there wouldn't be any infringement in terms of copyright regarding that.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, Tommy and team, it sounds like for your platform to be effective, you're going to need lots and lots and lots of data. So you're going to need a lot of reviews from a lot of different people that people trust. How are you going to go about acquiring that data, and how many reviews do you think you need on the platform for a city to become truly an effective place to look for information?
Great question. And actually, I'm going to throw this off to Key to answer. So Key, would you please take this one?
Yeah, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. So that is an excellent question. That's actually why we wanted to start with the study abroad programs, and that's going to be our niche market, our way in, and that's where we're going to start. So within these programs and these onboard sessions, we actually want to go in and tell the students that we partner with specific study abroad programs to utilize the app. And if many of you who haven't studied abroad, who don't know, every weekend trip that they actually plan, they write their full journals and every place that they've been to on Google Docs, and that's scattered all over the place. So we want to actually use that information that they have. We already actually have a few individuals who have showed us their Google Docs and who have showed us their work way around when they study abroad, and all that information is scattered throughout. So really that information that they're going to have, we really want to import into our app. And we foresee that utilizing study abroad is really our way in.
getting through those the top schools with study abroad programs, that's where we see us being able to grow and create all those reviews that we really want, and that it's going to grow those tips and tricks that people have found when they study and when they're going and wandering around. So that information is really free and not just stuck within an individual's Google Drive, their own personal document.
Yeah.
So just,
oh, I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Liz,
I was just going to add on to
I
that.
just have 2 more minutes for Q&A.
okay,
Thank you, Mike. Or thank you, Mike. To add on top of that, one of the qualities that we appreciate most about our app is the crowdsource-based data. However, to make itineraries, we're going to be importing from Google Maps API. And so people will still be able to make their itineraries without the crowdsource-based data, but it will allow them to have a community and to refer to those posts.
got it. So the concept is that you're creating a closed platform to start with small groups of people, and then it would become larger, almost like Facebook's launch, where it was initially only on campuses and then moved.
Exactly. That's actually the model that we used to give us inspiration. And we saw that it worked for them in utilizing that to grow out and expand.
Great, thank you. Ton, do you have a question?
I've got one question. Yeah. So I just want to talk about the market, the size of the market. So you talked about there's 360,000 students that typically go abroad. So I know you have to work to reach all of those, but you talk in the course of 5 years that you're going to get to about 210 million visitors. So quick question, just trying to understand how you scale up to that. And then it's more of a specific question. Is the 210 million, is that what you're going to call unique visitors? That's individuals that are actually using the platform? Or is it just people that amount of times that are going, kind of like visits? So that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, great question. Let me refer to our TAM sum. So our total available market is 1.4 billion tourists. And then the 4.5 million global study abroad students are our SAM. And finally, our obtainable market is 360,000 study abroad students. To address specifically your question, the visitors, it's based on visitors. It's not based on unique individuals, unique users. So for example, if someone goes on our app 3 times a day, they'll be counted as 3 unique visitors.
Okay.
Additionally, we will start with US study abroad students and expand outward. But as we continue to expand, we will open it up to greater audiences, because this isn't just an issue for study abroad students. We found that it's an issue for travelers in general.
Okay.
Does that address your question?
Yep, thanks.
Okay, sounds good.
Randy, how are we on time?
We judges have used their time for Q&A, and now they need to spend a few minutes just comparing notes while we switch to the next team, Liz.
Great. Okay, so we just make our notes now, judges.
So we'll take a couple of minutes. And in fact, while we run that, while you judges are scribbling your notes, we've got it set up that we will show a couple of commercials. So I think we need to swap out screens. And again, all of our teams created these for the first time ever, a 30-second commercial, customer-facing commercial. Not all of our teams are presenting here in the finals, but we're going to show you all of those commercials throughout the course of this competition.
Randy, may I bring up a concern that's been brought up about COVID-19 and our venture, or do we not have time?
We're ready to switch to the next one, Tommy.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you. Bye.
So, as I said at the beginning, we've never done this, so thanks for your patience as we solve. Here we go. And we have one more commercial in the queue, I believe. As we wait for that one to wrap up.
Randy, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? And even mild dehydration has been shown to put stress on our cognitive functioning, short-term memory, as well as an increase in feelings of anxiety and irritability. So how can you monitor your hydration levels? Introducing HydraBand, a new wearable technology that will monitor your hydration and warn you before becoming dehydrated, allowing you an overall healthier life and well-being.
So that was a commercial from two of our teams, Love Ladies and HydraBand. Next on our new venture competition docket is the team from Pulse Fitness. And I think Pulse is in our Zoom room now, muted, but are you guys here?
Pulse is here and they're muted and ready for the commercial and their pitch.
Excellent. So judges, are you ready as we start to roll to Pulse Fitness?
Yes, we are.
All right, onward we go. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are Pulse Fitness, and we are 4 young exercise enthusiasts looking to shake up the world of fitness. As I'm sure many of us have experienced during the new normal that is social distancing, it is extremely difficult to find motivation to work out. Research shows that 43% of adults in the US are not motivated to exercise. From people who work out every day to those who don't work out at all, the problem of finding motivation to exercise has been exacerbated during this pandemic. As a company with a two-sided market, we have also identified a pain point for small businesses. 63% of small businesses have a hard time reaching their target audience. With many small businesses temporarily closed, companies are struggling more than ever to find ways to reach their target customers and stay connected during social distancing. Our solution to this two-sided problem is a mobile fitness application. The reward app for fitness, Pulse Fitness, incentivizes people to exercise by awarding them with shopping points to spend at local businesses. Users record a workout on their smartwatch or manually upload their workout to our app. They are then awarded points based on the frequency, intensity, and duration of their workout, which they can then redeem on health and fitness-related products and services. For businesses, we provide a unique virtual interaction for small businesses to get connected and stay connected to their target market. By deploying Pulse partners into the cities in which we operate, we will create valuable relationships with these small businesses to better understand their needs and help them reach their marketing goals. Through extensive primary and secondary research, we have proven to validate the concept. Survey data showed that 68% would change their habits if financially rewarded to exercise. In addition, Pulse Fitness was voted as the winner of the 2020 Investors' Choice Prize at Innovation Expo, where we pitched our idea to more than 600 event attendees. Further validation with small businesses proved that they would advertise on our platform, granted it creates value for existing customers and helps them gain new customers.
Our venture is unique in that we address a two-sided market. First, we target users like Kayla, young active individuals early in their career with disposable income. Their busy work schedule leaves little time for them to work out, and they are seeking alternative forms of motivation to get them moving several days a week. Furthermore, we are also targeting local health and fitness businesses such as bike shops and local supplement companies, initially in the Phoenix area, and then expanding to our other target cities. We are seeking to partner with businesses that are looking to advertise to the specific active demographic using our platform. Utilizing research published by the CDC, we were able to determine that there there are around 1.3 million adults between the ages of 18 and 34 in our target cities. We figure that we can capture 15% of this market, resulting in a serviceable, obtainable market of 192,735. We believe that we are entering a lucrative market with a future of sustainable growth. According to Polaris Market Research, the global fitness app market is projected to grow at 26.2% annually over the next 6 years, ultimately leading to a projected value of $14.7 billion.
Our main competitors in the industry are Diabet and Sweatcoin. Both apps' offerings may seem similar. However, Pulse Fitness creates value by having a variety of amenities in order to help motivate our users and contribute to local business. Our revenue structure will have a hidden revenue stream that will allow us to monetize our business partners' advertising on the app. We will help our business partners by properly positioning them in front of customers who show interest in their products. We will also have a freemium model that will allow us to offer rewards to our customers in increasing price segments of bronze, silver, and gold. In order to grab consumers' attention, we will be optimizing our digital footprint through search engine optimization. We'll continue to grow our consumer base by offering our users rewards through the app for signing on other participants. Early adopting companies will be offered advertising free of charge until rewards are redeemed by the users. Once our sales gain traction, we'll be building a sales team of Pulse partners with the main incentive of building relationships with companies who will create profitable business through our app.
This chart summarizes our key strategic initiatives for the first 3 years of business, starting with funding that enables our app development and marketing, followed by our geographic expansion, which is key to growing our partners and revenue. Together, our funding and strategic initiatives over the first 3 years will propel us into years 4 and 5. To give you an idea of the cost associated with our customer acquisition and expansion, we have calculated a few stats. The CAC for our individual app user is estimated at $8.87. Our CAC for each partnered business is roughly $1,200, and the cost to get our Pulse partners on the ground selling in new geographies is $90,000 first year, $120,000 second year. To tie things together, here are a few of our major financial milestones over the next 5 years. As you can see, once we raise funds and have executed on our strategy, we will reach over $26 million in revenue, 11,000 partners, and roughly 200,000 users by year 5.
Thank you for your time. We now open the floor to any questions.
And
Good
in
afternoon.
fact, we'll take a second to collect ourselves while Pulse runs their slideshow for Q&A.
And I think we're all set, Randy, whenever you guys are.
All right, Miranda, good job. Liz, you're up.
Great. So for this one, we have it down that I'm going to go first. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys your first question. Talk to me a little bit about your validation research, specifically on the small business side. So you said you talked to some small businesses and they indicated that they would have an interest in using.
Sorry, you broke up. Can you say the last part of that again?
Yeah, just tell me a little bit more about your validation research, particularly with the small business customers.
Yeah, of course. So I specifically went and talked to several local gyms just here in the Tucson and up in the Phoenix area, specifically gyms that were individually owned, like CrossFit gyms and like I said, individually owned gyms. And they were very high on this idea. And one interesting thing that we found from that was they were interested in our idea strictly because they partnered a lot with local supplement companies. And they really enjoyed supporting these local supplement companies. So they saw us as a platform of where they can promote their user, like their customer base to then reach the local supplement companies that they like supporting, and it goes beyond supplement companies as well. But they were that was the biggest element that they liked about us.
Yeah, to Liz, we also spoke to a number of retailers, and retailers currently we found are spending roughly $300 to $400 a month on advertising and marketing expense, and that's how we actually priced ourselves very competitively with that at $200 a month. And we pitched ourselves as not just and a lot of these retailers are paying for coupons and magazines or hard paper. We pitched ourselves as a unique data source that's constantly evolving. And we know who your target audience is, where they're working out, and how they're working out. And that enables you to market to people that you never were able to get in contact with before.
Great, thank you. Who wants to go next?
I have a question.
John?
Just real quick. Yes. So I've ran a few different classes similar. And so what makes this better than the app that geolocates my phone and gives me a coupon because I just walk next to Pinkberry, right? Or I'm close to that. So much larger market, much, I don't have to work out on my smartwatch to get a coupon to go there, but it's really just geolocating me and giving me advertising based on where I'm walking, like a new age A-frame, right, if you will. What separates this from that type of an opportunity?
Yeah, great question, John. Where we feel like we really differentiate ourselves in this place is the relationship we're creating with our business partners. And so, especially today, it's so important to, as we move into the new normal, to develop a relationship with your user when they're not even in your store. And so that's really what our app is allowing you to do, is to develop a relationship at touch points when they're working out, to remind them of your service and your retail store or your restaurant and how you can help them live a better life, a healthier lifestyle. And so rather than just based on local walking by the store, we create a relationship that connects stores with people that have similar interests and activities in their daily life.
John, I'd like to add on to that just real quickly. One of the things that we've noticed is in the gym industry specifically, there is a very low retention rate from starting in January until the end of the year. And with these partnering with local businesses and local gyms, one of our main goals is to not become a novelty where you offer a one-time coupon. For instance, like you were talking about walking by Pinkberry. For this, our goal is to create, repeat offenders to where we have people who want to become engaged with these local companies and these local gyms.
Good, thank you.
I got a quick question for you. So the question comes to when you feel it's appropriate to launch in a particular market. So I have to assume that in order to have consumers interested in using the app, you've got to have a certain amount of partners that are contributing offers into the app. So the question I have for you is, how will you know that you're ready to open a specific market and have the right amount of content there for consumers to start using?
That's a great question, and I can field that question. Who was asking that specifically? Didn't show up on my video.
Yeah, this is Ton Albright.
Oh, hi, Ton. Yes, so to start, we have this, to start our business plan, we have these separate milestones. And first is going to be the family and friends, essentially our closed beta. And yeah, here, perfect. We have our family and friends, our closed beta, and we would like, to share with about 100 users and 5 business partners. And then from there, we're going to tailor the app and update the app with responses from our users. And then we want to kind of expand with the invite-only beta. Following that, we want to gather feedback and continue to scale. And then with our full launch expected in October, these different milestones will allow us to make adjustments financially, marketing-wise, and on any other, IP and data development. So we really plan on calculating our launch very meticulously with these different benchmarks.
And if I can add to that really quickly, how we're going to spearhead our expansion is we're going to seek to partner with franchises initially in Phoenix that also have a presence in our other target cities like Los Angeles and up in California. And we're going to leverage the franchise relationship to then expand into California and then expand from there on.
Okay. Thanks.
Matt and Chris, we probably have about a minute left. So any last questions?
I have no questions.
Yeah,
Matt?
my only question is, in terms of, a similar question to the last team, what is kind of addictive or what is differentiated about the app from the user's perspective? Why are they going to keep coming back and telling their friends about it?
Well, so our main competitor is Sweatcoin. They have over 2 million users that they're collecting data from. So this idea is validated by itself, and Sweatcoin only tracks walking and running. We're more comprehensive than that. So we understand that people are attracted to this idea. They're using Sweatcoin, they're getting out and exercising and using those rewards they earn. We just want to be able to track all types of exercises and provide better rewards. And so we believe the idea has already been validated by a separate company. We just want to be the better company and provide a better service.
And going beyond that, we obviously the fitness market is very saturated. So we did a lot of research as to how we can differentiate ourselves. And as Sam mentioned, our most direct competitor is Sweatcoin. So we plan on differentiating ourselves that way by offering access to more rewards, more valuable rewards, and different types of exercise. And beyond that, we're integrating different types of motivation. Everyone's different, motivated in a different way. So we plan to integrate financial aspects, community aspects, and social aspects as well, to sort of create this comprehensive platform to help people get motivated.
I know we're out of time, but just quick follow-up question. Are you actually validating the exercises that they're doing through some video validation at all, or is it all customer reported?
I can take that, Max. Yes, so the idea behind Pulse Fitness is that our application, we have we partner with any wearable technology. And so the wearable technology, maybe being an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, it monitors your heart rate. So anytime your heart rate is above a normal resting rate, you are, say, earning points. So we have an algorithm that will, you can collect points. So it's a very simple process where you just press start and stop during your workout. And as you are working out, your heart rate duration and intensity earns you, those amount of points. With the physical inputting of your workout, we are working on that in a way to where users do not have to have that wearable technology, but the main idea is to use that wearable technology to track your pulse and earn rewards.
Okay, judges, that's all the time that we have.
Great, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job, Pulse Fitness. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the weekend.
Yes, love the commercial.
Yeah, thank you.
Our next team is in a waiting room, but they're called Play, and as the judges deliberate, make their notes for the next couple of minutes on Pulse, we're going to once again go to 2 new commercials.
Got a couple of commercials for you, Randy, and they're coming right up.
This is Jane, an occupational therapist at the Children's Development Center of Tucson. Unfortunately, record keeping is taking up twice as much time as she spends with her patients. Luckily for Jane, our team has created Talk To, which allows her to turn her spoken word into detailed notes for her patients. Talk To utilizes artificial intelligence and machine learning to provide deep analytical insights to highlight how her patients are progressing and how Jane can help them improve.
Hi, my name is Angel, and this is my story. I plan on majoring in pre-med in Arizona. I want to pursue nursing because it's an extremely rewarding career, and I found value in helping others. The Cap and Gown Initiative is helping me make this happen by relieving stress and reducing my workload for college. You can support me at capandgowninitiative.org starting in May 2020. See you there.
So before we move to Play, those commercials were pretty fun. What John said earlier is, even though we're focused on new venture development for profit, Cap and Gown is one of our not-for-profit entities. Took the same series of processes that all of our teams are doing and put it in place for a not-for-profit. What a cool entity. I think we're ready for Play. Play, are you in the room?
Team Play is here.
Team Play is here. Play is up. John, we're going to roll the commercial and go into the video pitch.
Thanks, Randy.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Hi, everyone. We are Play, the app that helps you decide where to eat. 132 hours per year and 2.5 hours per week. That's the average time couples spend arguing about where to go eat. Play aims to give this time back, not just to couples, but to people everywhere. We make deciding where to eat fun and easy. Play caters to two markets. On the one hand, we have the app for users. Users can play alone or with friends. They select the friends they want to swipe with, then they select the meal they're looking for. Users can swipe right or left through pictures of food depending on how appetizing it looks to them. Finally, the user is matched with a restaurant. Our second market are restaurants. Pulling information from Google, restaurant profiles will be automatically generated. With Play, restaurants can edit their profile, access daily, weekly, and monthly analytics, and view and reply to private customer reviews. For consumers, Play is targeting young professionals with medium disposable income and frequently dines out with friends. The app will be completely free for users. The more users we have, the more restaurants will want to sign up. For businesses, Play will cater to young restaurant owners in need of reliable marketing. Play for Business will operate on a freemium revenue model. The premium model will cost $25 per month for the extra features. There are 276,000 restaurants in the United States. And of those, 167,000 restaurants are within our serviceable, obtainable market.
We have two different customers. Users will be reached using social media advertisements, food influencers, and food events. Our goal is to recruit as many users as possible to create valuable data insights for restaurants. On the other hand, we have the restaurant owners, who are our main source of revenue. We will advertise in relevant magazines, attend trade shows, and hire a capable sales team. Our sales strategy will be very hands-on. Our sales representatives will visit and meet our customers in person to offer a personalized service. The sales team plays an important role, as they will create relationships with customers around the country and sell our premium app. The target locations around the US are chosen based on the number of restaurants and gastronomy activity in each city. For example, in Arizona, we selected Tucson, Phoenix, and Flagstaff. We will reach 10% market penetration in year 1, and as the sales team and user base grows, up to 50% market penetration in year 3. Looking at the bigger picture, by year 5, we will be present in every large city in the US, capturing nearly 50,000 restaurants as customers for the premium app. This amount represents approximately 30% of the serviceable obtainable market.
The first 3 years of our company will be important. As you can see, we break even and are technically profitable in year 1 thanks to low cost while leveraging our founders' strengths. We are targeting roughly 400 restaurants for $35,000 in profit in year 1. We start further expansion in year 2. This will require us to hire 13 employees, 10 of which being sales personnel to help us expand. Due to the hiring, we actually see a drop in net income to minus $2,000, but thanks to the additional employees driving revenue growth, we see the financials bounce back in year 3, where we project a profit of $1.25 million. In the long run, it is going to cost us roughly $60 per restaurant to acquire them, while they will then pay $25 or more per month for premium services. High user numbers increase the value of Play, so we will spend roughly $3 per user to acquire them, although they use the app for free. Lastly, based on subscription service research, we project an LTV of roughly $420 by retaining each restaurant for around 12 months. Looking ahead to a snapshot of Play in year 5, we plan on spending $4 million to acquire 48,000 customers, resulting in revenue of $15 million and a net profit of $10 million.
To cover our initial expenses, we are seeking a startup capital of $50,000. $20,000 will be funded by founders and $30,000 from friends and family. We'll use 10% of these funds to cover sales and marketing expenses and the remaining 90% for app development. Currently, we have a prototype and website. Next month, we will begin developing the mobile app, followed by the integration of payment gateways and third-party applications such as OpenTable and Uber Eats. Our app should be ready for launch this September. Here are our key milestones. After launching our app this year, we will have a small expansion in Arizona. In 2021, we will hire additional employees to assist in a larger geographic expansion, which will lead to break-even sales. By 2024, we will reach a target profitability of $15 million. We are not only striving towards becoming a growing company, but also a socially responsible one. Once we become profitable, we will donate 1% of our revenues to local food banks to help those in need. Our venture is led by a dedicated team of graduate students with diverse backgrounds. Our mentors, John and Jared, are serial entrepreneurs who provide expert guidance and support. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to answering your questions.
That was Play. Thank you very much. Georgina is now taking over the screen. Liz, you're up again.
All right. First, this time we have Ton.
Great. I guess the question I'm going to go to on this one as well is I'm just trying to understand how you get content and you make it relevant for actually consumers to use. So can you tell me a little bit? I know I don't want to get deep into your customer acquisition cost, but can you tell me at what point do you think that a restaurant really is going to be able to want to pay? How many users are they going to want to be seeing that are using it? Can you just explain a little bit about that with and how that ties in with the business model?
Absolutely, that's a great question. I'll field this one if that's okay with the team. So in terms of what the restaurant can expect to get back or why they would want to do this, looking at their margins and the average amount of money customers spend when they go into restaurants, we calculated that it would only take anywhere between 5 to 7 customers per month getting directed to their restaurant through our app to pay for the monthly subscription already itself. So anything above that would be just added bonus for them, in addition to all the features our app would provide that were outlined in the video.
Okay. And do you have a benchmark for how many users you think you need to have on the platform in order to make it enticing for restaurants to continue to want to be on the platform?
Yeah, our original estimates were around 350,000 users by year 5. But again, there are a lot of assumptions baked into that. It's hard to predict because the success of freemium apps can be so varied. But those were our starting numbers that we're using to ballpark.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Somebody ready to go next?
Yeah, I have a question. So you had a slide earlier that showed the market size or something in the billions. And then when we got to the actual revenues in year 5, it had a map. Maybe if you can keep moving a few forward. There we go, back one. There we go. So I'm looking at this. So your TAM is 276,000 restaurants. This $291 billion in sales. Is that restaurant sales or is that,
Yeah.
what's that number?
So yes, this is restaurant sales because it's our main source of revenue. So the premium application that we are going to sell to restaurants, like for $25, $35 a month.
Yes.
That's our main revenue stream. So
okay.
that's what we calculate, that we will have around 50,000 restaurants by year 5.
Okay, so let's go to that slide real quick. So the 50,000 restaurants by year 5, you guys are saying $15 million in total revenue by year 5 from 50,000 restaurants?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we make the price, right? By year 5, $15 million and cost and everything there. I don't know if $25 per user. So your cost of customer acquisition, that's your total customers. That's your revenue. Your net income right there is $10 million, but there's quite a few other costs that are going to be associated in there. Are we taking into consideration our operating costs as well? Am I missing that somewhere? I'm sorry if I am.
Georgina, go ahead and go to the backup slide, the detailed financial.
Sorry.
Looks like 24. There we go. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So our biggest expenses are the operating expenses, as you see here, highlighted just above the operating profit. So we have accounted for some various aspects of salaries, marketing, raises, all of those kinds of things in there. So that's definitely our biggest expense.
Right, but there is a $4 million cost to customer acquisition, right?
Yep.
Am I missing that somewhere? I'm sorry, I'm probably asking too many questions, judges, but if I'm seeing $10 million net income and I'm missing the cost of customer acquisition in there, so that $4 million is coming out of your $10 million as well?
No, so our customer acquisition cost is baked into our operating expenses because it's largely the salaries and raises for our sales personnel who are actually going out and working with the restaurants. So that's why it's embedded in there.
It's baked in. Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I have no question.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
I have no questions this time.
Oh, you have no questions. Sorry. Matt?
Yeah. So my only question is, in terms of convincing these restaurants, I'm just curious as to how they will actually see and recognize the benefit, right? So is there some way to track that somebody came from your app through the subscription to join them for dining? I'm trying to connect the dots.
Yes, so the advantages of the premium app is that besides they can modify their profile as they want with their own pictures, their own digital menu, they also have access to analytics, daily, weekly, and monthly. And these analytics will show the amount of matches that is quantified, and then which age range of the population that is matched, so they can describe better their target customer. And they also can see which meals are the most liked. And also one of the main benefits and differentiators from our competitors is that they will be able to view and reply to private reviews instead of public. So this is to differentiate from Yelp, that one bad comment can eclipse 50 good ones and be harmful for local small restaurants. And we are also targeting local small restaurants because they have limited resources. So it's very cheap, $25 per month is what a couple spend going out for one meal. So it's very easy for them to see a return on this investment.
Yeah. In addition to what Georgina said, so all the matches are going to be quantified, and we have partners such as table booking apps and our food delivery apps, so such as Grubhub, OpenTable, and so on. So the number of users that will jump from us to theirs is quantifiable and can be tracked. So restaurant can easily see how many customers are coming from our platform and actually spending in their restaurants. So they can easily track the benefits.
And last quick question: have you gotten any user feedback on actually going through this process and getting feedback from any kind of a mock version of your app or anything like that in terms of user feedback?
I can take that one. So when you say user, do you mean like the hungry person, the person who's swiping to get the food?
Yes.
Yes. So we were able to demo the app during the Venture Fair about a month ago, and people really liked it. Almost everyone that we've spoken to has said to us that they would definitely use this app. We've been asked several times if it's available for download right now. And as we ask people, we've gotten their feedback over time and been able to implement many of those features that they've asked for. For example, one of them asked if there was a way to see like what the wait time was on the restaurant that they matched with. So we figured out that there is a way to connect that to a place like OpenTable and stream that information live.
And you guys actually have this app live right now, or is this just in beta?
It's just in beta, just a prototype right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So does it have a location function?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then my second question is, Tucson Foodie did something kind of similar to this. It wasn't like a friend share, but you could like or dislike pictures of food, and then they sent that information back to the restaurants as a pilot project. And I'm just wondering about your user retention. So me as the customer that's swiping, it's a gamified version of reviews, like compared to Yelp, right? So that will be fun for me for a certain number of times. How do you keep me on the platform and keep me excited?
Okay, I'll take that one. So first thing is we are removing the basic problem of human indecisiveness. So once you went to one restaurant, next time you don't know where to eat, what to eat. And if you're in a group, there's a problem always. One person wants to eat pizza, one person wants to go for burgers. So there's always like a problem deciding where to eat. So we are solving that problem. And that's a huge problem right now, seeing that a lot of people eat 4 to 5 times a week outside. And apart from that, our machine learning algorithm, suppose you went out to eat something, next time we'll give you more options. We'll give you a variety of options. So we'll always keep you interested in our app. You can always swipe together with your friends, swipe right, swipe left. So it's kind of fun. And apart from that, we will be launching a number of events
locally and on our application itself. We'll launch games, we'll launch, suppose, meet some chef, learn how to cook, and so many things. So we are trying to retain our virality of our app through a number of things that we are planning to do in future.
Great, thank you.
Okay, judges, that's all the time we have for questions.
Thanks, team.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was Play. Thank you, Play. We will see you in class Tuesday. If we don't see you later today, have a good weekend.
They will join us back for the award ceremony. So come back for awards, guys.
That's right. I forgot. Thank you, Michael. Our next team will be Hush, but first we have 2 commercials while judges take notes.
Yeah, I'd just like to say a couple things, Randy. I want the live audience out there to recognize how the amazing quality of the commercials that we got this year. It was astounding. It really, all of our teams performed so well, and it was so difficult to get it down to just 6. So I really want a shout out to all the teams for the amazing results that we got in showing these commercials. And with that, I'm going to run this for you. Here we go.
As students, the current options for ride sharing are overpriced or inefficient. Stride is different. We are on a mission to make ride sharing for students as simple as possible. We can do so by offering a subscription-based student-to-student rideshare service that operates within a 3-mile radius from your school's campus. All you have to do is select your destination and our nearest driver will take you there. No time wasted and no need to splurge on every ride. Download and subscribe today.
Everyone says their food is fresh, but at Syzygy, you can see for yourself. Our experts use hydroponic farming to grow fresh greens just feet away from your table. Everything else on your plate comes directly from local farmers, which is better for you and for the planet. We're more than just a sustainable restaurant. Our mission is to connect you with your food and your community through workshops on cooking and hydroponics. Visit our website to get involved today. Syzygy, aligning you with your community through fresh, local food.
All right. It's funny, when I look at the commercials, I am brought back to a long time ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, when we made the assignment before we were all sent to our rooms and not allowed to go out anymore. Next up is Hush.
Are we ready for Hush, Randy? Or is Hush in the room?
We are ready. Hush is in the room.
Yep.
All right, here we go. And away we go.
In times like these, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the information we receive from our phones. Between work and personal life, it can be hard to keep up with notifications and prioritize what's most important. With notifications piling up, sorting through the chatter can be exhausting. But what if all that noise disappeared? Welcome to Hush. Our product gives customers time to focus on what's most important and the flexibility to choose what they want when they want it. You control your chatter. Learn how you can cut your chatter today.
Oh my God. I'm so overwhelmed. How do I even know which notifications are important to me? Turns out I'm not the only one. On average, each American sends and receives 94 text messages every single day.
And that doesn't include any other notifications such as social media, email, or WhatsApp. And it's not just a personal problem. It's a problem the world is currently facing in light of COVID-19. The problem is the overwhelming stress and anxiety caused by the always-on attitude that society currently demands. Our customers are business professionals who receive more than 100 notifications and have 2 or more channels.
That brings us to our solution, Hush. It is a fully customizable dashboard that lets you see the notifications you want when you want. It starts out with a personalization quiz that helps get the user's initial preferences, and then from there, it learns from their behavior in order to sort their notifications into high priority, medium priority, and chatter. Going into our social impact, our product itself is aimed to help customers reduce the stress of balancing their work and personal lives. Research has actually shown that job pressure is the #1 cause of stress in the US. We will launch outreach programs with local Tucson businesses focusing on stress and mental health management. Additionally, we will partner with the American Institute of Stress to share our data on messaging and social media use to help them further their research on media overload. Going into our competitors, the main competitor we are facing is people trying to solve the problem themselves, whether that be by adjusting notification settings manually on each of the apps that they use, or by turning their phone on Do Not Disturb, which cuts out chatter, but also causes them to miss high priority messages. Our defensibility comes from our intellectual property, which consists of an automatic reply feature and our prioritization algorithm that allows them to silence chatter while still being notified of their highest priority notifications. Our competitors limit customers and don't give them this ability.
The total available market is 109 million business professionals in the United States. As our product is a mobile application, it can be downloaded anywhere, but we believe that launching in Arizona will give us the best ability to service our customers. Specifically, our beachhead market are Tucson business professionals aged 35 to 49 who have 2 or more channels of notification and receive at least 100 messages or notifications each and every day. Now, going into our go-to-market strategy, it's important that we are able to gain new customers, which will bring us to our lead and demand generation. We're going to draw customers to our website, our trade shows, SEOs, paid searches, and having a Gmail launch style. When Gmail was first starting, they demoed their product to customers, and they allowed these customers to be able to share with 10 or more of their friends and family, gaining lead and demand traction with these customers and gaining more and more customers to join their product. Not only is it important to gain customers, but also to retain these existing customers, which is why we're allowing customers to give us feedback at any point so that it can help change and modify our app to best suit them, prioritizing their customer voice as well as having a 24/7 automated support line for them.
So the business model that we'll be using is a freemium model. They will have a 30-day free trial, and after that, customers will have the ability to pay $4.99 per month or do a deal of $50 per year. Using Hush on a monthly or yearly basis will help customers cut their personal chatter. Now, some of the milestones that we'll be covering is in year 1, which will start in the summer, we're going to hire a developer and start our marketing campaign. In year 2, we're going to increase options for this product and integrate the automatic reply feature that was talked about earlier. In year 3, we're going to update the iOS and Android applications with developers and create a desktop version that business professionals can put on their work computer. Now, we're going to need about $215,000 for that initial marketing campaign and app development. $60,000 of those dollars will come from founders plus friends and family help. $17,000 will come from grants, like the Amber Grant, and angel investors will bring up the back end with $120,000 to $140,000.
So taking a look at our break-even analysis, we predict our break-even coming at the end of year 2, making year 3 our first year of profitability, ending year 5 with a little over $10 million in revenue and just under $7 million in net income. Paired with high customer retention, once our platform is completely built, aside from maintenance, our cost of goods sold will go down significantly, making Hush more profitable through the first 5 years.
And we believe that we're the best team to bring Hush to market. Not only are we passionate about this product and also created it ourselves, we also have the professional backing to use it. We thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we will open up the floor to any questions.
Excellent. As they shift to slide sharing, judges, are you ready? Liz, are you up?
Yeah, I'm ready. Matt, we have you down to go first this time. Are you ready with a question?
Yes, I am. So I'd love to understand what's proprietary about the technology, right? There are a number of different companies that have tried to solve this problem of limiting the noise and personalizing the experience on phones and or with email. What is the proprietary technology that you guys have built, and is it entirely user trained, or is it kind of personalized in some way other in some AI kind of manner?
Thank you, Matt, for your question. I'm going to turn it over to our technologist, Elizabeth, to answer this for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. So kind of what goes into it is there's kind of that initial prioritization algorithm that is trained by the personalization quiz, and that's kind of unique to us. And then from there, it does learn from users' preferences. And kind of the difference of us based from our competitors is that our competitors don't really have the scalability that we do, and they kind of are limited in their markets. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as many connections as we can to different applications that our users are using so that we can help limit their noise in all aspects of their life.
I could just ask a quick follow on. Could you just explain the most common use case of text messaging, right? How is your app going to affect the text messaging notifications on my phone in terms of when it dings, when it doesn't ding, right? And or the filtering of what's important and what's not. Can you just give maybe one example how the technology applies?
Yeah, so for example, say that you get a bunch of text messages in a day, but some of them are just some group chats that you don't want to be part of, and some of them are important that are actually pertaining to you. So like you get a text from your mom that you definitely want to see. So our algorithm would help learn from your behavior and learn from your preferences based on how you use it, and then it'll learn to show you those messages from your mom as opposed to all of the messages from the group chats you're part of. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, we can go on to somebody else. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Matt. John or Chris or Ton?
Yeah, so your target market on this, I believe you said you were looking at mostly business professionals as a target market. Can you walk me through the target market again?
Definitely. Rachel can talk to you a little bit more about our target market at this point.
Yeah, hi. So basically we're gonna target business professionals because they're the ones that are using their work computer and they're trying to balance that always on attitude that kind of happens with like balancing a work and personal life. So with the business professionals, they're definitely gonna receive like at least 100 work emails a day, and then they're gonna have group chats to go off of and like Instagram and all kinds of other stuff that they have to focus on. So we're going to try and make sure that our customers can like cut that chatter. So business professionals are going to receive over 100 plus notifications a day, but they're also going to communicate on more than 2 channels. So text messages and emails, and they're going to probably have multiple email accounts, stuff like that.
And there's a lot of your validation work around that piece?
Yeah. So we had a survey that was going out. And that had over 100 responses. Okay. And then since this was a relatively new idea that we came up with, we were doing some in-person validation. We had about 9 interviews, and then it got short due to COVID-19. So we're going to keep doing those in person, but that's how we got the $4.99 for our model. Okay. And from there, we'll just keep validating with our results.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John. Ton, do you have a question?
Sure, I've got a question. It's a technical question. So here's the question. Have you looked into how you can actually aggregate the various amounts of communication platforms that would come in? For example, I would look at it, okay, I use WhatsApp, I use Instagram, I get text, I have Messenger, and I even have email. So those are all provided by different companies that have their own specific specs on how they actually distribute that type of messaging. Can you actually work directly in with each one of those companies and have the ability to bring those messages into your platform and then customize them with the algorithm? Have you looked into that?
Yes, we have, and Elizabeth will talk about that right now.
Yeah, so that kind of goes into our defensibility and our competitors. So kind of the thing that we're doing is we're specifically going to partner with companies and also make use of the APIs available to us from these various platforms that we want to include in our platform. So that's kind of how we're going to partner with them that way and get access to people's messages, and so that we can present them to them.
Okay, so quick follow on that. So they all have APIs. So you've looked at it, so you can actually integrate on into there and then be this aggregator of messages. The question I have is that it looks like you're going to take 3 years to build this out. Why not go at it hard and get it knocked out in 6 months?
So I'll have Rachel take over to talk more about the timeline.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit more about that. So basically, we have an Adobe XD prototype. We worked on it in February. We premiered it at the Innovation Expo, and then we sent the prototype to some engineer friends, and they're working on like a really rough sketch of like what it's going to look like for iOS and Android. And then we're going to give the code to a developer that we're going to hire with our $215,000, and we're going to have it try and finish by July. And then we're going to bring the product to market by November, so we can still have a first year sale.
Okay, I was thinking the timeline you had was like 2-3 years of really till you really get out to formal rollout. So okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's more like 2-3 years to get the product fully integrated, like into the business professional workspace. But there will be an iOS Android version out by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, do you have any questions?
No, none right now.
Okay, great. So can you talk to me a little bit more about, so I am your target market. I am like all of the things on your bullet slide. So tell me a little bit more about how you did the survey with me or with my target audience, and how you did your validation interviews to just better understand. I know you talked about pricing, but why am I going to stay on the platform? Once I learn what I like and what I don't like, why wouldn't I just set my own notifications?
Definitely. Rachel can talk to you again about this validation effort and what makes us so unique.
Okay, so basically you're going to want to stay on our application, just because with setting your own notifications, if you just put like them on do not disturb or like only if it mentions you, you're still going to kind of miss some stuff. It's going to go through the cracks. And so with our fully personalized system, it's going to show you this is like what's most important to me, like why it's going to be in first priority and why you're going to get those notifications first, and then kind of go into a secondary and chatter so that you're not bothered by all of those extra notifications. And so like that's why you're going to build that loyalty with us, and we're going to continue using like retention with customer feedback to like make sure it's the best experience for you guys, because you are our target market. We want to kind of keep learning from you. And then with the continued validation, we're just going to learn more about why you would use the product, why you would not use it, stuff like that.
Okay, great. We have a little bit of extra time for questions, guys. Anybody else have another one?
I have one more. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. Well, why don't I just turn my phone on silent? Like, I mean, not to be direct, but to be direct. Like, why don't I just put my phone on silent if I'm doing emails? I mean, this is what us, Liz is, I'm in that same group as well, right? Like my phone goes off. I got a bunch of emails come in. I'm doing multiple things. But us old people, us old business professionals, we just turn something off and focus on one. So what's that real value proposition that makes me say, this is going to make me more productive, or this is going to make me, do better at my task in general with your product here?
That's a really great question. And I'm going to leave it up to Elizabeth to talk to you about. And here is a little bit of a breakdown of why we think that we're better against the competition.
Yeah, so kind of where our value comes in is not only are we helping silence the notifications that you don't want to see, but we're helping you prioritize. And so you don't have to sort through your messages. We're sorting through it for you to find the most important things. So if you put your phone on silent, you're still eventually going to have to go through all the messages that you silenced to find the ones that you actually want to reply to and the things that are most important. But for us, we're silencing the things when you need to focus, and we're also helping you find the things that are also most important. So it's less time on your part, and we're saving you more time.
Okay, any information on how much time you're gonna save me? Like that would be something if you put that out there. Not saying you have that information right now, but if you ran that and actually had some information saying, hey, using this, you'll save X amount of time a day. Now you have my attention, right? Because time is money. But
thanks, John. Mike, are we good or?
Oh, you're muted, Mike.
Liz, that's a good question. That is all the time that we have.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
Thanks,
you all
guys.
so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
There's a certain irony of asking Mike a question if Hush has any more time, and Mike is muted and hushed. That was awesome. We have 2 more commercials coming up. John, are we ready?
Oh yeah, I'm always ready for you, Randy. You know that.
You and you, let's go.
Here we go.
You as the most effective onboarding tool for all campuses. Our smartphone application works to acclimate individuals to their campus by increasing utilization of tools, resources, and knowledge, thereby ensuring efficiency, retention, and success. Our smartphone application incorporates specialized maps that enable students to visualize and navigate dining services, academic resources, transportation services, artifacts, and more.
In the United States, there are more than 40 million people who suffer from migraine attacks each year, which results in a loss of 157 million work days and countless lost time with loved ones. And to make matters worse, only 50% of the people who need help ever receive it. But in 2016, scientists published an article detailing the benefits of green light exposure to migraine sufferers. By integrating green light technology into a therapeutic mask, we can bring forth a new type of remedy. We are Aegis Light Therapy.
John, as you get ready for Aura, one of the things that I love about those commercials is we made that assignment for students after spring break, after they had been dispersed around the country, and told them instead of being able to do elevator pitches, you got to do a customer facing commercial. We've never done it before. I think we're going to keep doing that every year as an assignment.
It was really impressive. They really had less than 3 weeks to get this done, and the results were amazing.
So we're running ahead. So Aura, our team, is not here yet.
Yeah, I did want to add that it is pretty remarkable, these commercials, and I think it's a great addition to doing in the future as well.
Yeah, and I do want to add to that a little bit. You know, it wasn't just the commercials that we had them do. They also all did professional website development in that same time frame. Now, some teams had been working on websites to create a web presence, but they really ramped up their game, and we really didn't have enough time to show the websites on this call. But I know that our judges had access to that. And I think it was another really important step was to have these teams really use the tools that are available. And I do think that, to your point, we're going to see adding more of this type of content to the program and to the competition in the years going forward.
One of the roles I play these days is McGuire historian. And I remember when I first started teaching at McGuire, we would run an elevator pitch assignment where we'd literally have them go in an elevator and talk about their business idea as they go 3 stories up. And to see us evolve to these commercials, it's a new world. Aura, I think, is here. So we're ready to go to our penultimate team. So John will roll the commercial for Aura, then we'll roll into the video pitch and Q&A from there.
Yeah, ready to roll, Randy. Here it comes.
Imagine watching your favorite athletes. Those who inspire us. Those who do the unimaginable. Do athletes actually put this in their body? Whether you're a world champion or just exercising to stay fit, we deserve better. It's time for the sports drink to supplement your active lifestyle. Improved endurance, sustained energy, fewer calories. The power of Aura. Hello, investors. We are Aura, the modern sports drink, and we are here today to present to you the biggest disruption to hit the sports drink industry since the creation of Gatorade in 1965. Gatorade and Powerade are some of the biggest brand names in the sports drink industry. They claim to give you energy and electrolytes to help you perform better in your workouts. Their claims are just wrong. Gatorade and Powerade are lying to you. Sports drinks available today are nothing more than processed sugar with a pinch of salt, disguised with artificial colors and flavors claiming to help you supplement your active lifestyle. This problem drove the inception of Aura, a new sports drink backed by science, formulated specifically to improve your health and performance. Here at Aura, we have taken what Gatorade and Powerade have started and reinvented it for the modern consumer. With clinically backed ingredients meant to sustain your workout, Aura's proprietary formula is the ultimate evolution in sports drink technology. Using a powerful, fast-acting carbohydrate called highly branched cyclic dextrin, Aura provides increased stamina, energy, and endurance for you to perform at your peak. Our all-natural flavors include only 6 ingredients and none of the downsides of our nearest competitors.
As a quick absorbing but stable carbohydrate, HBCD provides your body with sustained energy and nutrition, all without the ensuing crash from sugar-heavy sports drinks that dominate the market. Aura is the only ready-to-drink beverage to include HBCD. This has and will remain a market blind spot to our competitors. Now time for the science. In clinical trials, researchers found that elite-level swimmers drinking an HBCD solution were able to perform at peak capacity an average of 70% longer than those drinking water. Even plain water still managed to outperform the mass market sports drinks consisting of sugar. Aura is specially designed for people who strive to live active and healthy lifestyles. This gives us access to a vast market segment that is not limited by traditional demographics. In fact, our validation has demonstrated that a large portion of physically active consumers, irrespective of their demographic traits, believe sports drinks on the market have too much sugar and moreover provide no performance benefit. Given this, Aura is the solution the market has been waiting for. Capturing these customers is simple. Our marketing efforts are structured around enlightenment, disrupting an industry that hasn't changed in decades by drawing attention to what really fuels the human body. Customers' inclination toward healthier food and drinks have caused the entire beverage industry to see sales declines in sugary, higher calorie drinks. While excess sugar and salt in a bottle may have fooled consumers in the past, science and ingenuity will power the customers of the future.
With the influx of donations from our crowdfunding campaign, Aura will be launching its first pilot manufacturing program. Small batch testing will allow our team to tweak our product as need be and ensure the right product market fit as we do continuous validation. This eliminates the financial risk to our investors and helps bridge the learning gap between startup and large-scale production. Aura will sell a majority of initial inventory through our active online store, with expansion targeting small Tucson and Phoenix retailers to occur in early 2021. Regional expansion will occur later that year, with ultimate penetration to national brand retailers by 2023. Our crowdfunding campaign has already started to propel these market plans forward and establish brand recognition before customers even see Aura on the shelves. As stated previously, our supply chain and production systems are primed and ready for our first order. We have spent the last 4 months cultivating relationships with suppliers, co-packers, and distributors, all of which are prepared to partner with us to achieve our corporate goals. Aura's supply chain features multiple distribution channels, providing risk mitigation and resiliency in an uncertain business environment.
Aura is a turnkey business, ready to start production immediately and begin acquiring customers. We have developed partnerships in every step of our supply chain and have established production operations ready for our first large-scale orders. Aura has a well-crafted website and social media presence, along with a successful Indiegogo campaign that continues to drive brand awareness and crowdsource funding. Accomplishing these milestones gives us an extreme first-mover advantage, putting us a giant step ahead of the competition to attract customers and generate sales. Aura is already generating revenue from both crowdfunding donations as well as pre-sales from family, friends, and early adopters. As our business scales, we project our revenue to triple every year with subsequent cost reductions due to economies of scale. Incorporating expected cash flow over the next 5 years, as well as the value of our formulation, supply chain, and established partnerships, Aura will be valued at over $24 million by the end of year 5. Aura would like to thank you for your time today. Are there any questions?
All right, that is Aura. Liz, while Aura gets themselves set up to share their Q&A slides.
Yeah, Chris is going to go first this time. Chris, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go for it.
All right. Is there a patent or something, copyright, whatever, required for the formula that you're using in this drink? And if so, do you have it?
We have a current trademark and patent application plan in place, ready to get moving on that. We've started partnering with a patent attorney to be able to help us get these patents and trademarks registered with the USPTO. The drink itself, as it is a non-obvious use of highly branched cyclic dextrin, as well as the current sports drink, it would file underneath a utility patent, and that application would be valid for that. As well as with our main distributor of HBCD, they have offered us a trademark we plan to negotiate a trademark exclusivity agreement, as they are currently the only suppliers of HBCD, to allow us to use their product in our drinks.
Okay, another question. Are there any other drinks on the market today that use this HGCP or whatever it is?
Currently, there are no sports drinks on the market that actually use HBCD. We would be the first one.
Say again?
There are no drinks on the market right now that have HBCD in them.
Okay, and has it been tested by the FDA as far as, for safe, et cetera?
Yes, absolutely. If we go to slide 40, Izaki Glyco, the manufacturer of highly branched cyclic dextrin, did achieve FDA notified GRAS status. And what that stands for is generally recognized as safe. So not only HBCD, but every ingredient of our drink is approved by the FDA, and our drink is compliant.
But it received this in 2012.
Yeah, so currently,
why has it not been used? And this is 2020.
Yeah, it's a great question. So HBCD is used by people right now, but the problem is it's sold as a raw ingredient. And right now people only take it as a powder or a supplement form, and they end up mixing things by themselves. Right now, applications of HBCD are somewhat limited. They're found a lot within the bodybuilding community, powerlifting, CrossFit, endurance athletes. And what we want to do is bring it to the market, get more mainstream, because the benefits of HBCD are not only for niche athletes, but for everyone exercising.
Thank you.
Great. Does somebody else have a question? John?
Yeah, so that seems like a obvious reapplication of the HBCD. I mean, you showed some information there, water, this supplement, to be able to see the 70% increase. Are you certain that you'll have some type of protection here? And I know why Chris is asking the reason for protection, because there's a lot of large names that were on that slide with the Gatorade, and then also the Powerade that have a lot of resources. So if that is something that's tangible and viable, you have a steep battle on your hands with those groups. So can you enlighten me a bit more on why it's so unique, this application that would afford you some type of protection when it seems to be being applied in other areas?
Yeah, I can take that question. Thank you, John. Basically, we're the only drink that is started to use HBCD in a ready-to-drink format. And that's where we think our big intellectual property is grouped up in, that we use a novel carbohydrate and mix it into a ready-to-drink formula for people to consume regularly on the market, in any convenience store, online, etc.
Thank you.
Go for it, John.
How do you plan to sell these? Are these single serve, or are you going to sell these in cases? So just trying to understand that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've actually started selling on our Indiegogo campaign, and have actually reached over $1,000, as you can see here, in just 4 days of selling.
we're going to be selling them mostly in cases online of 4 and 12 bottles. So we have our 4-pack and our variety 12-pack, which includes all 3 of our beverages, our beverage flavors. But however, in retail, we plan to go in the single bottle format. So you'll be able to just pick a single bottle of Aura off the shelf like you would with any other sports drink or beverage at a retailer and check out with it immediately.
And then what are your price? I'm trying to understand your price points and then gross margin.
Yeah, if you take a look at our price cost structure on slide 30, so our price to our distributor is $1.67, and then we have industry standard markups based on that. So our price to retailer, there's a 20% markup and then a 40% markup at our MSRP, which is $2.79. So when these bottles are being sold either in retail or on an online store, they're sold at the same price, but we make 80 cents more per can when we're selling them online at our store because we don't pay that extra retailer cost.
My last question is, have you ever looked at how you could offer this for 99? Can you make money on this if you sold it for 99 cents?
If you look at our slide, should be, yeah.
Slide 25.
Yes. Yeah, so our cost is based off of, a quote from our supplier and co-packer on the ingredients, how much the cans would cost, how much it costs for labor, and added spoilage fees. So based on that, we came up with a price that we thought would be competitive with sports drinks already on the market. Selling at 99 cents would not be as profitable for us, but if that is something that maybe our investors thought would be a good idea, we could work around that and figure out if that would work across our supply chain. But our price cost structure right now is just based on the fact that we have a lot of high grade natural ingredients in our drink, and we still believe that we're selling it at a competitive price to other drinks on the market.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Matt, I have one unless you have one. You want to go first?
Yeah, I just real quick, what kind of funding have you pulled in from Indiegogo? How much, and have you filled 100% of your funding at this stage? And how much have you had in any kind of pre-sales?
Yeah, so our Indiegogo has reached over $1,000 just last night. We actually raised $900 just yesterday from family, friends, and other people searching Indiegogo. So we're at about 10% of our goal, a little over. And we're really looking to reach, the $10,000 here so that we can move forward with production, as well as increase our marketing efforts to, drive more visits to our Indiegogo page, as well as our website.
Okay. And back on the user testing, I'm just curious whether other people have tested. I kind of followed along with some of your previous answers, but what kind of user testing has this type of novel carbohydrate had elsewhere, and or through what you've done just in your own sampling, anecdotal or otherwise?
Absolutely, I can take this one. So aside from we cited an earlier clinical trial within our presentation from the journals of biotechnology and biochemistry. Now an important thing to make sure that these results from studies hold up, the most important thing is obviously that the study is replicable and that it didn't happen to be statistically significant by chance. Now, the important thing to look at is there are several studies that have been structured differently that have shown that performance increases are replicable. And building upon that, adding in anecdotally, the reason why I came into knowing what HBCD was is that in my past experience, I was a international elite level power lifter. I trained with a lot of people with state and national records. A lot of us were very on charge of our nutrition, and it's within the powerlifting and weightlifting community and endurance athletes. They're kind of the early adopters because they're so far ahead of nutrition and supplementation compared to average commercial sports. And that's where I came into it. I anecdotally have a lot of experience with it. I know several other high-level athletes with experience with it, and we're just trying to make it more mainstream.
Okay, judges, that's the time that we have.
Sorry.
Great, thanks, guys.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Aura, thank you very much. We will see you back later for the wrap up and announcement. We have a final team in the waiting room. Century is waiting for us. And now John is going to show our final two commercials of the rest of the McGuire program. At least I think we're doing that. John, are we doing 2 commercials or are we going right to Century?
We have 2 commercials. Sorry, I was on the wrong page, Randy.
Goodness gracious.
Right with you.
We were doing so perfectly. I have received a text that says something like a few hundred folks are watching us on YouTube. So YouTube people, thank you for being here. Apparently the YouTube chat line is going a mile a minute and Marisol is managing that to good effect. So thanks for playing with us today.
Yeah, what a fantastic team effort. I'm so excited that everybody is watching and seeing these awesome team presentations and commercials. And it's been really, really great and entertaining. All right, are you guys ready? First up is Proof.
We are Proof, a venture that brings value to small businesses by fully digitizing receipt management starting at the point of transaction. We make it easy to manage your expenses and file your taxes. So once you make a payment, a digital receipt will be sent immediately to your phone where you can search and categorize your purchases. It only takes 3 steps for you to be receipt free. First, download the app, then sign up, and finally, never worry about having proof again.
The average woman has more than 40 makeup products and use typically 5 of those products extensively. To test this, we asked around how many makeup products women have.
Too many.
Too many.
Way too many.
Oh my God, I have way too much. Well, there's an app that uses AI scanning technology to enhance your makeup experience. You can archive all your makeup and cosmetic products from a simple scan. We will connect you with your favorite makeup artist and notify you about deals, similar products, and products close to expiration. We are Capara.
Excellent. Those were our final 2 commercials of the day, except for the last commercial with our last team in the competition, Century. Century, thanks for being here. Off we go.
There's a new high-tech way for thieves to rip off car owners. Take a look at this surveillance video. 2 men. The first tonight,
people in a Fort Wayne neighborhood are fighting back against recent car break-ins.
They are using surveillance cameras to catch the criminals in the act.
We've been there. Have you? Century's here to help. Visit us online to learn more and follow us on Instagram at Century Car Security. Welcome to Century Car Security. My name is Kendall, and in the last 4 years, I've had my car broken into twice and had 1 family car stolen.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I've worked on and built cars my whole life, and last year, one of my favorite projects was stolen right out of my driveway.
I'm Rob, and last summer, there were over 10 car break-ins in my neighborhood.
I'm Patrick. There's an auto break-in every 6.5 minutes.
I'm Olivia. Did you know that the average monetary loss per car break-in in 2018 was over $8,000? If you've experienced a situation similar to the ones experienced by my teammates, then you are part of the people affected by the more than 1.3 million car break-ins that occur every year. Century Car Security will solve these problems. You can think of Century Car Security like Ring for your car. Our camera system connects to an app on your phone using LTE services. It will notify you if motion is detected in your car day or night, while also sounding an alarm and shining a bright light to deter theft. As the events surrounding COVID-19 leave cars unattended for days and hours on end, systems like Century are more important now than ever.
We created 2 prototypes to showcase different aspects of the product. A 3D model to demonstrate the system itself, as well as a walkthrough of the mobile app and what the user will experience. Users will install the camera, connect to the app, and join our community. We have 2 buyer personas, starting with Joe Wick the Techie. He's 38 years of age, has an income of $80,000 per year, and his goal is to monitor his car while parked in his office garage. On the other hand, there's Jason Smith, the car guy. He's 25 years of age, has an income of $45,000 per year, and his goal is to protect his car to the best of his ability and is willing to pay premium prices. We validated these consumer segments at Innovation Expo.
Our beachhead market will be in Tempe, Arizona. We chose Tempe because of the high disposable income and recent technology boom, along with their thriving startup ecosystem. For our entrance strategy, we enter 3 to 4 local aftermarket car shops a quarter for a proof of concept. We will also sell our products online and attend automobile trade shows in the Phoenix area. For our go-to-market strategy, we will focus on direct-to-consumer, where our e-commerce sales will make up 65 to 85% of our total sales by selling online and directly to trade show attendees. We will also focus on retail to consumer, where we will secure local aftermarket car shop contracts and then get into big box technology stores such as Best Buy. Century will be selling our product for $300 and project approximately 16,500 units sold in our first year. This number is derived from the conservative assumption that we will obtain 5% of our main competitors' first year of sales.
In year one, 85% of sales will be made online, where the other 15% will come from our attendance at the 3 trade shows, Dub, Southwest, and SEMA. These shows make up 73% of our $22,000 marketing budget, and the other 27% pays for our social media and email campaigns. This overall annual marketing expense contributes to our $4.7 million made in revenue. By year 5, online sales still bring in the majority of our revenue, but now 35% will come from contracts gained at trade shows. Our marketing budget will increase to $53,000 in year 3 and remain constant as we attend 4 to 6 trade shows a year in new or returning markets. So by year 5, this $53,000 marketing investment will contribute to our $26 million in revenue.
Here we can see a graph that details our 5-year projection. Revenue in year 5 will be $26 million, net profit will be $12 million, and we mitigate operating expenses to $3 million. Now I'll break this down year by year. In year 1, we will launch our company in May 2020 and spend the first year developing the app and building the hardware for our camera. We are asking for a $520,000 investment, primarily used for product and app development, as well as our initial inventory. Our company will have a minimum viable product by February 2021, 10 months after launching. In year 2, we will hire 2 sales reps to help us build relationships with local aftermarket auto shops in Tempe and attend 3 trade shows to launch our first year of selling. We predict becoming profitable in this year and will begin our CSR initiative by donating 3% of our net profits to Vehicles for Change, a charity that helps provide transportation to families in need. In year 3, we see a 87.4% increase in sales, which is spurred by our expansion into aftermarket auto shops in LA, Vegas, Denver, and Houston. We will hire a 3rd sales rep to support this expansion, as well as an IT specialist to bolster our software capacity. We're going to jump into year 5. We see an anticipated 63% growth in sales, in which our sales through contracts with aftermarket shops now makes up 34% of our total sales. This national expansion is combined with an internal team expansion as well and gets us to our goal of $26 million in revenue.
Our venture is supported by the constant guidance of our venture development mentor, Marisol, the expert industry advice and engineering from Patrick Marcus, and concept and market validation from the specialists in Tucson. We thank you all for listening to our presentation, and remember to stay safe and park fearlessly with Century Car Security.
Well, that was our last team. Congratulations, Century, for that commercial and video picture. We're going to open it for Q&A to the judges.
Hey, real quick here, Brandon, were you able to join?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Excellent. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No
worries.
problem. Okay, judges.
Brandon will be on by telephone, not video. Judges, you've got 5 minutes or so.
All right, John's up first again. John, you're muted.
16,500 sales in product sales in year 1. Is that what I saw there? And that was a certain percentage of a competitor's current sales numbers?
Correct. Brandon, do you want to see the growth sales slide?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so on that, who's the competitor? What percentage of their sales are you capturing, and what is that geographic location where you're capturing those sales from?
Got it. Okay, so Brandon, if you want to take the location spot, go for it.
Okay, yeah. So what we're trying to do is we're going to be starting off in the Tempe area, and we're going to be going for about 5% of our competitor OwlCam sales. OwlCam was started by some old Apple execs, and they recently actually just got bought out for some of their IP. But we're going to be going for about 5% of those sales, and we're looking for a conservative estimate on that. They had 330,000 units in year one, and 5% of that is going to get us that 16,500 units in the first year of selling.
Okay.
And then I wanted to make sure we capture that second part. You were talking about the competitors and who they were.
Mm-hmm.
So you're benchmarking to OWL.
Correct.
That's what it looks like. You're benchmarking to OWL. Obviously, they sold their products nationwide. You offer nationwide. You're focusing on Tempe, and you predict to get these 16,500 units being sold in that geographic location?
We are also.
So
go for it, Brandon.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, part of our sales platform is going to be e-commerce. And this is also something that they did, but one thing that we get to leverage as well is physical locations through vendors. So aftermarket car shops, like the people who put in your stereos, they'll also put in like alarm systems. And we think that this would be like a really good product for them to have on their shelves, both for like their own revenue as well as ours, and it would help increase our brand awareness. And so when we first start out selling in that Phoenix area, we're going to be targeting like the top 3 near our headquarters there in Tempe, and then just expanding from there, kind of just going outwards. And you can see in year 3 that we go from just like the Phoenix area and like the surrounding region into like LA, Denver, Houston, Vegas, and then just keep expanding through physical locations like that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Liz,
of course.
Go ahead, Chris.
Does this product need to be installed by an aftermarket installer? And does the $300 include that? That's the first question. And secondly, is it tied in, or does it have the ability to tie into any of the notifications, call centers, police department, etc.?
So I'll hand it over to Patrick, who was our tech manager.
As of right now, the $300 price point is the self-install option, which comes with a portable battery for the security function of the product and for generating live stream from the phone. We offer the professional installation for a premium for the dash cam function, because that takes a considerable amount more of power and storage. So on that end, it's going to be 2 different price models. The $300 price point is the base, where you self-install into your car and it comes with a portable battery. And that professional installation piece is going to be an additional for wiring it into the car for power.
But if you self-install, what's to prevent the thief from just taking it out of the car?
Well, the idea is that there is a GPS into the camera, but if they were to grab it and throw it out of the car, then you would be able to know that someone was there and that you'd be able to capture where they were. But we can lock it onto the mount, but beyond that, if they were to break it off.
I also wanted to add that if the camera was broken off, we would have live stream footage saved onto your device. And we have considered adding another component, a hardware component to it, which is just a GPS locator. So if someone were to steal your car, you would still be able to track it even if they threw away the camera, because they wouldn't know about the secondary piece of hardware in the car for tracking.
And the other question is, how much does OwlCam cost?
OwlCam is it 300? I believe it's $350.
For the self-installed?
OwlCam was self-installable as well, and that was going for $350.
Okay, thank you.
What makes you guys different than OwlCam? Tell us a little bit more about your competitor.
Let me go back to our competitor here. So One thing that Olivia can maybe speak on a little bit more after this is we can file for like the design of it. One of the problems that a lot of consumers had with Owlcam was how large it was and the sounds that it made. And so they wanted something more sleek and smaller that was like less attractive for thieves to potentially see in their car. So we do want to like separate ourselves that way. But Owlcam is also primarily an AI video protection hardware that's like a dash cam. So they don't necessarily deter theft. They just record what's going on inside and out of the car. And if something were to happen, they don't let off an alarm. And so the reason why we have the light and the sound feature is to be able to deter the thief from further taking any action and hopefully scare them away from further damaging the property.
To add on to that, first of all, Owlcam is no longer on the market because they were bought out for their AI technologies by a truck fleet security company. So we're going to be the main product on the market offering these features. As Kendall was talking about, we have the light and the sound. And we're looking to be in the dash cam space, but we wanted to have a more conspicuous design. So we're attaching our product to the rearview mirror or to the windshield behind the rearview mirror. So we're looking to patent that design, and that offers the driver just more visibility. Some states have actually laws against having like large dash cams on the front of the car. And further, Owlcam used a type of source for its electric that a lot of customers weren't a fan of, which is why we're offering the portable batteries so that there's no wiring within the car.
Great, thank you. Ton or Matt?
Yeah, Matt's got just a quick question or two. The breakdown of your cost on this, I think I heard at the very beginning that you're using LTE for the communication process. So what is the cost for the LTE? You know, kind of, do you have a subscription fee that you have to pay, or is it a notification only
So
server?
for the LTE cost, it's going to be, the hardware piece itself is included in the total cost, but month to month will be a $10 a month additional cost for the consumer to sign up for that. And we have considered also as well as the marketing promotions, giving people 6 months free of the LTE. But how that would work would be, we would be using an LTE that pairs with a wireless carrier that would also have their SIM card in it, and we would hop on their IoT network, which would allow us to connect.
Okay. And is there anything that differentiates you from, I've heard some of your comments around dash cams. Is there anything that truly differentiates this product versus the dash cam product that's out there?
Yes, the difference between us and most other typical dash cams is that, for one, we have the large security emphasis, which most other dash cams do not have. And while other 360 dash cams do exist, none of them have an emphasis on security. It's merely footage while driving for Uber drivers, taxi drivers, or just people in case of an accident. Whereas for us, we combine the security aspect in watching your car in case of theft, and also provide the dash cam experience with a 360 view, which can cover some of the spots that lower dash cams that dash might miss. And also, as Olivia mentioned, some states have things against having dash cams low in your dash.
Yeah.
One thing that we wanted to, our video doesn't show on the app that hits on the 360-degree visuals. We had a video that kind of showed the resemblance of what you would see if you were to look into like an AI technology headset at Innovation Expo, but we can't give that to you here to see now.
Ton?
Yeah, so my question, I'm going to leverage a little bit off of what John was asking earlier. It's really your sales strategy. So if I looked at it, I think I saw a slide said in 5 years, 65% of your sales are going to be through online, about 35% really coming from trade shows. But then yet you talked about having 2 salespeople. And then I hear that you can also just buy the product online and self-install it. So I'm just trying to understand where sales are really coming through, and then what those salespeople in each particular market are really doing.
So the salespeople that we're bringing on board are more to attend our trade shows and be able to like build our relationships from the retailer perspective. Our secondary target market, which is more of the car guy, likes to feel and see their products more often than just ordering them online before they implement them into their cars. So they're more likely to buy from a local aftermarket car shop that they trust, that they go to often to purchase their products and then install themselves. And then our other primary market being the tech guys, they purchase more online, and they're more early adopters that way. And so even if some consumers may hear about our product at these trade shows, they may decide that they want to order it online instead of buying it right there or going to a store, just to kind of learn more about the product. So we do have more money going towards trade shows to expand our business and retail relationships. But then the online portion is where we expect our primary market to purchase our products.
And last questions, how many trade shows are there that you think that need to be attended every year?
So let me make sure I pull up the right one. So in year 2, our first year of sales, we're only attending Southwest and Dub, which are in the Phoenix area, our beachhead market. And then we're also going to SEMA, which is the largest global international aftermarket car show. And so we want to get ourselves in there early to start developing relationships. And then by year 3, we're expanding into Denver, LA, and Houston. And we picked their primary car shows to attend. And then from 4 to 5, the budget stays the same because we intend to show up to at least 4 to 6 trade shows a year. And they're around the same like size and price budget every year.
Thank you.
Great. Can I ask one last question?
That is all the time that we have, judges. Liz,
Okay.
actually, we're running ahead of schedule. Do you want to sneak in the last question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, maybe I missed it. What's your price? Your price per product to the consumer directly online is $300. What's your wholesale price to the retailer?
So let me pull that up. So the retailer price, the markups are a little bit different. I can't, I'm trying to build up the hardware cost. So we know how much the hardware is going to cost in terms of developing that, but working with retailers, there's a couple different strategies that we could use where they either pay like a premium or they pay they get like a certain fee that or I shouldn't say fee, like a royalty that they get for every sale, or selling it to them for a cheaper price. But we're not exactly sure the price point for the technology. And we want to learn more about how Alcam went about it for some retailers to see what they did. But it hasn't been super consistent within the market. So we want to find more information about that.
Okay, thank you.
That was excellent. Thank you very much, Mike, for letting Liz get in a question. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, judges. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right, Century,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen is Michael is going to use his gizmo gadget skills and teleport the judges to a separate deliberation room. Judges, you should know that when we were going to do this down at the U of A at the theater buildings, we had a whole room for you with all sorts of great food and drink. It was going to be the highlight of your year, but sadly,
No fibbing, Randy. No fibbing.
dude, you're going to a digital room, so teleport away. And so Michael will be teleporting you, and then he'll teleport you back in.
We're giving the judges like 20 minutes to deliberate. Is that right?
We are giving the judges, we have in our notes between 15 and 20 minutes to deliberate.
Okay, great. I think 20 minutes is good because I think we have enough content to fill that 20 minutes.
And so
Hey, Matt, you need to join the room. You have a prompt at the bottom of your screen there.
That was quick. So in our Zoom room, we have a couple of folks from Eller. Paolo, I think, is still here. Stan is still here. Mike, you're here. Greg and John. My duties are about done, but before I go to all the folks out there in YouTube land, I want to say a couple things real quick, and I'm going to turn it over to you, John, to do the next stuff and to close it up. But first, this is my 12th year of doing this, and every year I have a great time. So really quick, I want to thank my colleagues for doing this. Greg and John, you're on the screen here as our co-chairs. John will go through the mentor team. Thank you very much for being my friends and my colleagues. Students, if you are out there, current students, that was a great year. You guys did a great job. We still have class for a couple of weeks, but you have handled this whole school closure with grace, kindness, and intelligence. It's been a great year to you. The other audience that we might have in YouTube land are the parents and family of our students. And if there are any parents out there, you should know that your kids are great. They just did a great job this year. And it's always fun every year to work with students who show up as juniors and leave ready to go and change the world. So parents out there, family members, congratulations on having great kids. And John, with that, I am going to get off video, put myself on mute, and give it to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Randy. I really appreciate it. And I just want to let all the finalists know that we would like them to be back in the waiting room by 3:35. So hopefully someone from all the teams, and Jordan, if you could send out a note to all the finalist teams to let them know that we would like them back in the Zoom room waiting room at 3:35. And in a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and share a little more information for you. All right, here we go. All right, just so just a little bit of information for everybody here. We have 67 students in the program, and there were 16 teams that were competing for spots in the finals. And because of COVID-19, the normal new venture competition is pretty much an all-day event where we do a quick pitch, a trade show, then there's the semifinals, and then there's the finals. Well, in order to make all this stuff work, we had to go back to the drawing board and figure out how we were gonna run this thing and run it in a format that was fair and online. So one of the things that we did was the mentor team themselves, we conducted the semifinals in a format that was exactly like the format that you're seeing today in order to get down to the 6 teams that you saw today. And originally we had planned on picking 5 teams, but the competition was so good and the presentations and content that we saw was so strong that we ended up allowing 6 teams into the final. And so one of the things I'm going to do now is I'd like to introduce the mentor team to you a little bit. And then we've got a little bit of video showing some pictures and video from the past year. So first things first, let's meet our mentors. You've been listening to Randy for most of the day. Randy is someone that we rely on to do a lot of lecture in class. He's very, very good speaker, professional lecturer, is involved in business communication and creating message and helping teams with strategy around their ventures, but specifically around the communication aspects. Secondly, Ash Black, who is director of Tech Core. And last year we added Tech Core to the McGuire program as a way to drive innovation through product development. And we did, I think, a pretty good job this year of getting these teams to get their products as fully formed as possible. We plan to accelerate that in the future. So as we've been learning how to use Tech Core more efficiently, I think we're going to see teams that are further along earlier in the year and prepare them for launch, and not just validate their market, but also validate their products against the market. Marisol Flores Aguirre is a mentor in residence. Marisol had a number of teams and was very instrumental, and Marisol also taught a class this past semester. So she was pulling double duty and has been exceptional. She's a local entrepreneur. She has a local store called Chulas. And she is very well connected in the community and works on a number of boards and is always ready to volunteer her time for the betterment of everyone else. And then myself, John Sharp, my background is in software and technology. I've started 2 companies, sold one back in 2011, started another one. And when I'm not at the McGuire Center, I am running a software company on the side. Mike Miles, retired Microsoft executive. Mike splits his time between Tucson and Seattle. Mike stepped up really big and took on a lot of responsibility this year, was responsible for organizing our orientation, in large part getting a lot of that content built and helping to execute our orientation for next year. Mike is also a mentor for a number of our student teams and is exceptional. Mike also has specific skills in corporate entrepreneurship and corporate social responsibility. And then Greg Watson is my co-chair in the department. Greg is responsible. He is the instructor of record. That's what we call it here at the university, the instructor of record for the program. And Greg is responsible for making sure that we meet all the academic requirements. Greg is also a proficient entrepreneur, having started something like 13 or 14 companies in his life. Too many to mention. Our McGuire staff, these are the folks that are often behind the scenes, but really shouldn't be. Jordan Elias, who's our manager of academic programs, works with the mentor teams, attends all of our meetings, makes sure that the coordination is done right, make sure that we have coverage from everything from marketing to human resources to executing our events. And it's a huge job. Jordan is amazing and does amazing work every single day. A lot of you probably know Ted McGuire. Ted's dad, Chris, is a judge in the competition today. And Ted's job title, Community Relations Coordinator, does not do him justice. He works with alumni. He talks to donors. He knows, I think, everyone in Tucson, literally everyone. I think he probably has like 400,000 contacts in his Rolodex. I think Ted might still have a Rolodex. No offense, Ted. So Ted is indispensable, also sits in on all the mentor meetings and makes sure that we have great coordination and great communication with our alumni. William Peck is our business manager in the office, keeps things running smoothly. From a financial perspective, works on the budgets, helps us with all of our HR hiring, and is always there when we have events, willing to lend a hand. Munir Muhammad is our senior program coordinator. She does a lot of event coordination, really understands how to navigate the U of A systems, making sure that we get things done on time. And then if you walk in the front door of the McGuire Center, this is the person you see every day. So Jackie is our admin assistant, manages the front desk, and just helps to create a culture. She's always happy and energetic and smiling, and is always available to help anyone with anything. And we're really lucky to have Jackie. Last but not least, I want to put out special thanks to Rick Ingve. Rick was our interim director up until January, was here for the whole first semester, and left the program in January. We miss you, Rick, and we certainly do appreciate all of your contributions to the program. So now it's time to stop listening to me and watch a video. And away we go. I'd like to say a big thanks to Victoria from TechCore for putting together that 14-minute video. It really struck me to think about everything that went on this past semester.
You know, it was great to see everybody. It's so weird to see everybody together and doing things. So that was a great video collage.
Yeah, I've been in communication with the judges' room, and my understanding is that they will be here shortly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of wait for the judges to get back. Then we're going to admit the members of the finalist teams from the waiting room. So finalists, if you have not joined the waiting room yet, please do so.
Here comes the judge, teleported back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, John. Chris.
Yes.
Feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie. Tom, Liz, Matt.
We're back.
We're
Hey,
back.
so where is everybody? Chris, you're in Palm Springs?
I'm in Arcadia, California, in my home.
Arcadia, California. John Jackson?
I'm in Northwest Tucson.
I saw earlier a gust of wind and I looked outside my window and I'm like, dude, you're right near me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I took this look instead of the pool. I didn't want anybody to get mad because the pool, and because I'm definitely jumping in here in a minute, man.
Liz,
Okay,
I'm in
Randy,
Tucson.
you're in Arcadia,
California.
California. John Jackson.
Northwest, man.
We lost our video.
Tucson.
What happened to our audio?
Everybody seems coming back in. You might want to auto mute everybody.
Yeah, but you got to auto mute us.
I'm
Yeah.
muting everybody but Randy.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know where, I think Matt is in Seattle,
I
right?
don't want anybody.
That is correct. I am in beautiful Seattle, Washington.
Me too, Matt.
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment for Matt to give us a little bit of insight as to what went on in the judges' room. If you got a minute there, Matt, to talk about your experience. I don't know how many years you've been judging, but I know it's more than 2.
Hey, John, while Matt is teeing those up, Chris is going to make the award announcements, but either you or Randy need to project. I won't be able to do it.
All right. Well, why don't you send me the file and I'll tee that up.
You have it in your email.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
Matt, over to you.
Great. So I'll just comment a little bit on kind of some of the judges' deliberation and some of the judges' discussion. And then Chris will kind of share and we'll go through kind of the winners and whatnot. But I'll share first of all that, we every year we kind of, we have this discussion on how is this, compared to years in the past. And I have to say, every year it seems like the bar raises a little bit higher. There's no doubt that especially because of, I think, how the teams had to shift to a different format and different method. The bar was really raised in a significant way. The commercials, the digital presentations, and the materials that were sent out, in advance across the board. Like this was actually one of the best, most vibrant set of, I think, presentations we've had, and especially in terms of digital presentations, it was actually quite amazing. And so I think every judge is a huge fan of let's incorporate this format in the future, some way, shape, or form. It was there's one other kind of theme that I heard across, which is that technology, and I saw personally, is impacting kind of everything. In every single one of the kind of presentations in some way, shape, or form, technology is playing a role in these companies, and it's true across almost all the companies that I saw from the commercials as well. In terms of feedback on what some of the judges commented on, first of all, one of the key questions that was asked is there a real problem being solved here? That was I think an important question that was asked as it relates to choosing the finalists and the winners. What is the cost of entry? What is the cost of capital? What capital is required? And then what is the risk for that capital? It's interesting. Every year, the judges have this challenge of, wow, you've got a company that's got a low cost of entry, but there's you have to believe the consumer adoption or the business adoption of it. Whereas you have some really interesting, potentially protectable IP, but you've got to go through a long process to get that IP confirmed or protected. And it's also maybe not as capital efficient. So those came up as discussions in terms of what's that risk reward of speed versus IP protection. And then the last question that always comes up in these judging sessions is it investable? Like, is someone around the table willing to potentially put money down as a seed investment in this company? So I share with you just a little bit of the feedback and some of the topics that came up. But all in all, the teams did a great job, incredibly well done, especially given what you had to do in the last 3 weeks to move this to a fully digital set of presentations. So across the board, judges said job really well done.
Great. Do any of the other judges want to add anything? Liz?
No, I just echo what Matt said. Really great job, guys. The technology, the quality of the commercials, the quality of the pitches is just fantastic. You guys did a really great job this semester. I moved my class online. I know how hard it's been for all of you. Congratulations on being seniors to those of you that are graduating. And thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Ton Albright, I see you out there.
No, I think my first time being a judge, it was great. I enjoyed it. And I think, as Matt had said, look, we had a lot of deliberations and discussion, and I actually think we could have used an extra 5-10 more minutes, but I think we hit the main points and then narrowed it down, and I think everybody feels pretty good.
John Jackson.
Oh, yes, definitely. Just echoing what everybody else said, watching the development of the new venture competition over the years. I actually participated in this competition in the past. Wasn't this type of prize money. We kind of commented on that, man. It was a lot smaller, but definitely good, high quality presentations. It's good to see some former students on some of these teams, and they know who they are. So good stuff all the way around.
All right, last but not least, Chris McGuire.
Okay, well, I was just thinking about it. This is my 29th competition that I've judged, and things have changed tremendously. Not only the prize money, but the technology and the students and the way things go. And just to give you a little insight, because you all are so young, when I enrolled in the University of Arizona, and I started in the summer of 1958, calculators were not even really available yet. If you had a calculator, it was an HP, and it cost in 1958 between $200 and $300. We were still using dial phones. Digital had not completely, and color television sets were not common in every house. So that shows you how the U of A has changed. And when my first judging that we did back in 91, we used carousel, slide projector, and flip charts. And that's how it was done. And so I want to commend all of the teams this year on an excellent presentations. It's always hard. Now we get to the part where are you ready to announce the awards? Okay.
Yeah, just give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, Chris, while I tee this up.
Okay, I'll okay. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, in third place, and I believe it's a $2,500 prize, and the winner goes for third place is Century. So
well done, guys. Well done, Century.
The crowd is going wild.
The crowd is.
Woo!
All right.
Great job.
In second place, and the prize money is $5,000, is Aurora.
All right, Aurora.
And the first place winner is Play, $10,000.
All right.
And I want to,
wow, that's awesome.
I want to thank all of the judges for their hard work. And I would like to thank all of the staff at the university for all the hard work they did putting this together. And as a computer illiterate person, I don't know how you guys all did it, but I really enjoyed it. So thank you all.
And I would like to also, just if I could, offer up to any of the teams that want feedback that were in these finals today. You can feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to provide feedback, kind of anonymized or summarized from some of what I heard, but also what I saw. I know it's really difficult in these online forums because we're here for a few hours and then we break away. There's nothing more valuable than feedback through this process. And usually after these, after the normal sessions, I stick around, Chris, others stick around, and we provide the team some feedback in person. So don't hesitate to reach out. I'm reachable at mw@pro.com. And I'm sure many of the other, judges wouldn't mind also supporting you in providing feedback. And I, for one, may even pursue investment in one of these companies. I found it, so powerful. So, thank you all for all the hard work this year. Know that we're here to give you guys feedback too. So,
yeah, can I just add to that real quick? So, if you guys are staying and launching in Tucson or Phoenix or Arizona, Startup Tucson is here to help you. So you can email me directly and we can help you take that next step. So it's liz@startuptucson.com.
And I'll echo that too. Even it's just so odd to be sitting in a room, but Matt has been just such a valuable asset to so many of our teams over the years. So teams, when he says track me down, it's not a gesture, it's a real thing. So track him down. And Liz, of course, you're at Forge these days, so she'll hook you up there too. So these are not just gesture kindness things, these are real things.
All right, with that, I would like to conclude today's live stream and our Zoom presentation, and congratulations to our winners, Play, Aura, and Century. Fantastic job, fantastic year. And we will see you guys on Tuesday.
Don't forget your homework.
Don't forget your assignments are still due.
Chris, John, Ton, thank you very much. Liz.
Thank you.
Thanks to the judges. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good work.
Congrats, everybody.
Okay.
Students, we will see you on Tuesday. Anybody want to debrief while you're here?
Yeah, why don't we start a new meeting? Oh, I guess we can skip this meeting.
Well, we need to stop the